Welcome back everyone to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host Jay Murf, and today we're going to talk about charting Cardano. So now I don't recommend swing trading this, but I know some of you are, and so I wanted to actually show you what pattern we're looking at here. Now the reason I don't try to swing trade Cardano is because I like it too much, and when you get attached to something, then you can't be unemotional about it. So now some of you aren't that way, that you are unemotional about it, and it's just another token for you, which is fantastic. This happens to be one of my favorite tokens. And so I get a little bit too close. I find when I sell and I'm out of it, I get too worried. I think about it too much because I believe in the long-term vision of what's going on with it. So I don't try to swing trade this myself anymore. I found I can't do it as successful because then when I'm worried while I'm out of it, it just interrupts my day. My thoughts are on it too much. I actually then FOMO back in too easily, and I can't make those detached decisions. But if that's not you, or you just want to learn some more about charting, well, then stick with me. Join me, Rainmakers. All right. Well, let's get into it. I wanted to show you here, I've got it pulled up on TradingView. Now, many of you have already followed me and you know how to set things up on TradingView. If not, you add another window, go to tradingview.com, and then you're going to put in the ticker symbol here. So in this case, we're going to do ADA versus USD, and then I try to pick the biggest exchange because some of the ones that don't have as much volume, sometimes one big buy order or one big sell order will throw the charts off. So if you notice, it still doesn't look like what we're used to looking at, so you then have to click on full featured chart. And unless you're subscribed, it'll throw some ads or different things at you. And so if you're paying for that, great. So that's how you get to it. I'm going to go back to this one I already have opened up, and this is on Binance. We're looking at the 1 hour time frame. Well, this one, we're going to look at Cardano versus USD, and we will look at it versus Bitcoin too, because I always keep what's going on with Bitcoin and specifically altcoins versus Bitcoin, because what I am always asking is, am I better off holding Bitcoin during the next period and then buying alts after Bitcoin runs, or am I better holding these alts? Because alts do tend to appreciate better during certain periods, but sometimes the alt price will stay roughly the same while Bitcoin doubles in price. And so for things I am swing trading, if I can hold Bitcoin during those periods, and then when Bitcoin goes up, then I just have a lot more to be able to buy more of that alt that I'm interested in. So I did want to show you this pattern that we're seeing right here. And so probably we're near the end of this pattern, and Cardano is going to make a choice. It's either going to break up or it's going to break down. So if you're trying to swing trade this, you don't have to know which way it's going to break. What you do is you wait for it to not only break out, but come back. It'll often come back and retest it, and if it's going to then go forward, it'll come back, retest, and then it will be bouncing up. Now you can see that there's this wick right here that did go above, and then it came right back down. So those false breakouts, that's why you wait for the confirmation. Now sometimes you can front run it and think it's going to do that, and you can jump on it, and you'll make more on the trade if it does go your way. However, so often it just comes right back in and trades in the pattern, and sometimes it does a little wick like that, and then it'll actually break to the bottom side. So I don't suggest front running this. And I also don't suggest trading on leverage. I know some people talk about trading on leverage and they talk about how much money they made, but often they don't share with you their full losses. The only people I know that successfully trade on leverage for a long period of time have lots and lots and lots of experience at this, because what I've seen often is people that are new trading on leverage, they have one or two successes, maybe even three or four, and they get really excited, and then they make some really substantial losses, and it wipes them out. In the middle of a bull market, you can actually lose all your capital trading on leverage. And so if you joined my videos previously where we had Angel on, who's very, very good at technical analysis, he says that when you're a day trader like that and you're trading based on technical analysis, you're mostly worried about capital preservation rather than gaining massive money, because if you're not taking correct steps to protect your investment, you can lose huge amounts of money, and then you're in even a worse position. And I would hate to see that for any of you, right in the middle of a bull market. And I think probably we're halfway through it, but we still have a number of months, 6 to 10 months left, where things will be going crazy. So it's a great time to be here, and most things will probably go up from here. This isn't financial advice. I'm just a crypto investor myself. We all get to make our own decisions and be responsible for them. So I wanted to give that disclosure. It's just my personal guesses for my own investments that I'm making, that most things will go up, and what I'm trying to find is the ones that will do the very best. If I can find something that will do a 25x or a 40x versus a 4x, well, fantastic. Not that one can complain about something going 4x in a year time frame. That's amazing compared to what stocks and real estate tends to do. However, when you realize that you had something that went 4x from where you bought it at, and there were a lot of other things that went 40x, you're like, darn it. Because this is the time to harvest. In the 4-year cycle that Bitcoin follows, this is the harvest year. We're right in the middle of that harvest year. And after the harvest year comes what we call crypto winter. And so it's a good time to either have long-term holdings that have like staking rewards and just sitting on them, realizing that they're going to go down in value quite a bit. Or it's a good time to be, at the end of the harvest, be selling off some of them and getting out of your riskier positions and taking your gains, right? So now what's going to happen from here? It could break up, could break down, but if you're looking to swing trade this, I'd be watching this very closely, and I would draw out the pattern yourself. I just put these lines in, and I'll just show you how to put in the lines. So I take a line, you try to get as many touch points as possible to tell you really where it is trading in and what patterns it's following. And so I usually put them in, and then I make some adjustments to see where the most touch points really are hitting. And that gives you an idea. So we're right near the end of this pattern, and that is when Bitcoin or whatever currency tends to break out, in this case Cardano. So if you are trying to swing trade this, what you're looking for is, say you're holding a bunch and you're just spot trading, meaning you're not using leverage, you're just trading the Cardano you have, and you see it breaking down from here. Well, then those people would make that decision to then exit their position, hoping to then take the US dollar later and buy back in for cheaper, right? So I did want to show you versus Bitcoin what it looks like, because versus Bitcoin, now I think Bitcoin is going to be running. And I refer to this chart a lot. This is the Bitcoin dominance. And as Bitcoin dominance, or the chart goes up like this, what happens is Bitcoin is gaining ground versus altcoins. And when you see it going down on this chart, well, that means Bitcoin is losing ground versus altcoins. So I've been looking at this a lot lately, and if you follow my channel, you have seen this. Essentially, it looks like a head and shoulders pattern. And I'm thinking it might come up a little bit here before it then goes down. It won't necessarily do that, but I'm thinking it will, and the technicals for Bitcoin are looking good. It did break out of this pattern, exactly like what we were looking at before. See how it broke out, and then it came back and retested a little bit, and then started running up again. And so somebody who was trading Bitcoin, that would be their signal to go ahead and buy in. And look, they would have done well. It went up, from 40, they would have known about the 46,500 range. And then it went all the way up to 49,000, but then came down as at 48.6 now. Does that make sense? And that's how you follow that pattern. So I hope this is helpful. I did want to share a quick message with you that I did talking about the channel growth, thanks to all of you. Thank you for joining the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jamie. I want to thank each of you for your support. In just a little over 4 weeks, we have grown from just about 300 subscribers to almost 6,000 subscribers. And that's thanks to each of you. Now, I started this channel because as a crypto investor myself for just 4 years, and before that I'd been a real estate investor for 20 years, and some of those principles cross over. But I found that I like to get the information from the different teams that isn't private, in other words, stuff they can't discuss, but it's not really hit the public awareness yet. And I found I was just getting really slow responses as an investor myself, and I realized that if I really want to be able to access that information, I need to be able to add value to subscribers through YouTube, that they would want to join my channel and subscribe and help me get enough people together so that those team members would possibly come on, but for sure they would speak to me on a regular basis, and we could get that non-private but yet not fully public information, so that myself and those who subscribe to the channel can get the very best information out there so that we can make better decisions, especially in 2021 as there's so much competing for our attention. We really all want to know what are the best choices to be making now and what information is out there to help us make those better choices. So I want to thank each of you for joining me on this journey, and we will see you soon.